Hello, how's it going? Thank you for being here, for listening, and for curiosity. Always got a little something. Well, today I think I would like to just kind of do a little something abstract, make a little noise, maybe a little drone with the bass drum. And I want to also use the Shaos as a trigger source for these switches up here. So for the hi-hats, I want to run 16 into one switch and 8 into the other switch. Let's see what this does. In other attempts I've had multiple clock dividers here, and I feel like it spaces it out a little too much to have like 16 and 4 in one and 8 and 2 in the other. Triggered by the Shaos, I think, is a little too sparse. So I want to see if 16 and 8 going only into one module when triggered by Shaos, I want to make sure that that is lively. Excuse me. Good grief. Behind me I have playing some birds from my backyard and a recording of a Goodwill parking lot. Left the windows cracked and left my Zoom inside. My Zoom H4. And yeah, so you see a little stereo image of some cars going by. Anyway, for the so that's going to be the hi-hat. And then for the snare drum, I would like to do, I'm going to do 4 and 1. Well, actually, I'm going to run that through an attenuator. Up to this second pulse converter. So first pulse converter gets the switches, second pulse converter gets the attenuators. Why don't I throw in 2 into this attenuator just to give it a little bit of a modifier if I want to kind of slow it down a little bit. Why don't I connect 2 to both of them? Kind of making this up as I go. My brain, I don't know if you all get this, but middle of winter, everything kind of seems the same. Every day is gray. That's why this is so much fun to do with you guys, because guys and gals, y'all. So what I have going on here, so 16, 8, 16 into one switch, 8 into the other switch, and they're going out to the first pulse converter. I'm going to trigger those, make sure all the volumes are down, don't need to get blown out right away. Trigger these with, how about, what's cool about the Shaos is that each one of these 1-bit, 3-bit, 1-bit, 2-bit are all different sequences that all kind of play with each other. So I'm going to clock the Shaos with 16 to get it as fast as possible. I think that is where I want to go with it now. Maybe I'll slow it down. It's moving pretty quick right now. So let's see. For the hi-hat, I think I'm just going to try to do direct 2-bit and 1-bit. Let's see what that does. The envelope. I'm going to open up the volume here. That's kind of groovy. Somebody driving by. I like that. It makes me feel like I'm in the city. And I would like to, with the bass drum and the bass module, do something a little more rampy and kind of chill. First, let's get the snare drum going, actually. So I'm gonna disconnect that actually. I had 2 plugged in there. I'm gonna take 2 out of there. I'd like to keep them a little more separate. So I'm gonna keep, let's see, 4 and 1 here. There we go. Maybe if I do 2 just to the, try it just to the hi-hat. That's a lot going into one. And I'm gonna run, I feel like running the radio in through the, I actually think I want to run the radio through VCA out into the delay directly, keep it on reverb so that the only thing going to delay is the VCA right now, and I'm going to trigger that with the envelope. And instead, because what I usually do, I really enjoy getting the little vocal pops every once in a while. If I open the envelope, we'll get more. But what I was doing is running it through the external, and that kind of robs me of that snare drum sound. So instead of running that, I will just, maybe I'll bulk it up with the noise to the external. I don't think it always needs it. I do think it'll be, alright, and let's get to this. So, get to this LFO here. I'm gonna clock it with 0.25, and what I want to do is pluck the bass with the square LFO. And before, actually, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to run the triangle through an inverter so that I can get a nice ramp up in the bass drum module. Just trying to get, I don't want to kick right now. I just kind of want something a little more ambient. And so I found, okay, here's what the bass drum's going to sound like. Get a nice tune out of that. Get the tune. Bring the drive down. Bring that pitch up. I think it might. That's alright. So, alright. Let's get to that bass module. I'll show you what I mean by the pluckiness of the square LFO. Is kind of nice. When you, right now, it is right in the center, 12 o'clock. Not the most plucky, not the most exciting. But if you move it a little bit further over, maybe towards like 7 or 8 o'clock, and open up the envelope a little bit. And that's what I wanted. I kind of want to ramp up, pop, ramp up, pop, ramp up, pop. And I want to modify the LFO with 4. See how that goes. Turn up the amount. Maybe lower the frequency a little bit when I turn up the amount. Nothing crazy right now, but that's fun. Take that. I'm gonna back. I just backed off the 2 clock divider that I have running into the hi-hat just to kind of slow it down if I want to. And Let's see, let's get a little bit more variation on the pitch of the bass. And how about, why don't we try running the noise also through, let's run it through an attenuator and connect it to the data pin there. And let's trigger the sample and hold with, let's see if 8 works. Sometimes if you go too slow it stops the whole clock. It's still moving. There we go. Oh, it is kind of caught there. Let's see. Just popping things off. All right. I think you get a little bit of variation if you want to try to do a little something different with the, change the sequence up in the sample and hold area. I think the noise running into the data pin does something. I can't quantify it, cannot. But let me see, I'm going to pop in both the 3-bit and the 1-bit since they're both different. I'm going to do that, see what happens. Last thing I wanted to do, let's see, let's mess with this, see what happens if I go, so we got the pluckiness of the bass, like that, and then I'm going to open it up, close the filter down a little bit. And I'm going to use the envelope of the bass drum to modify. Filter first. Not fast enough for me there, so let's see if it messes with the shape or the warp. Let's try shape first. That's alright. And also to open it up, I have send the bass to the reverb. But also, I have 4 and 3 and the 1/4" jacks running out to my Octatrack, so I can try to open up some space here. I'm going to lower the volume of the main output. I'm going to raise this here. So that's just the Octatrack. And I did have some delay on the Octatrack, sorry. So if I run it through the delay of the Pulsar, delay of the Octatrack here. I'm gonna lower it. I was saying delay, I meant reverb. So there you go. Basically that was all I really wanted to show. I just wanted to show kind of how you can also open it up a little bit with, here I'll even run the kick drum out to the other input that I have. Ooh, see without that. See, that bass drum was really adding a nice floor to it, and I'm going to bring that back in. That's going through the Octatrack. So now we have a lot more space over here for the radio. See, I hear the radio more. I mean, hi-hat and snare drum open up a little bit more when you get that bass out of there, so it's not all trying to come out of that one mono signal. Spacing it out a little bit is kind of nice. Alright, that's basically all I wanted to show. VCA with the radio running through the VCA directly to the delay is kind of a cool way to get a nice little funky abstract thing. You could even run an inverted pulse signal so that it's kind of on an offbeat if you wanted to, which would be really fun. And yeah, running the noise into the data pin I think does something. I'm not positive, but I need to mess with that more. That seems a little kind of simple. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're not sick like me. I'm still getting through it though. Y'all are great. Really appreciate you being here. Ask me any questions if you have any questions. Help me out if you have any answers to some of the stuff that I don't understand. Really, really appreciate you guys. This is so much fun, and this was a rough week for me. So I appreciate y'all being here and following me through it. I'm gonna play out a little bit with the lyra. Noisy backyard birds. Thank you.